welcome to day number 1 of the 14-day passive income challenge. Today we're going to talk about number 1 in the 14-day passive income challenge, which I call reverse budgeting. Basically what that means is, I can tell you one thing, I've worked with people for over 2 decades and I have helped many people in their budgeting. Early in my career, I helped many people the traditional way of budgeting just to find out after 6 months of working with them that it doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Because let's think about it. Let's be realistic. We're talking about people with a lot of expenses. We're talking about people with large families. Now, if you are going to do a budget for them, on paper, it's going to work amazingly. But then reality hits. The Yom Tov comes on, Pesach, Sukkot, your son's teacher calls you that you need to have an important private tutor for him. Why are you going to tell the teacher, I have to check my budget? Before you know it, another $500 a month is gone. In the traditional way of budgeting, although on paper it sounds good, but in my experience, for people with large families, for people with large expenses, usually budgeting does not work. So that's why I came up with this idea of reverse budgeting. What reverse budgeting does is basically you take the PIES versus the WISE model and you work with that. So before we talk about that, let me show you what the PIES model is. And usually most people, before I meet them, now I guess most people that you know are working under the PIES model. The PIES model basically means that you take your income, which is the I, you subtract from the income your expenses, and then whatever is left goes for savings. Now, what is the problem with that? And I'm sure you guessed it. The problem is nothing is left because the expenses consume all the income. Nothing is left. So what are you left with? And that's why so many people don't make it. And that's why this is called the PIES model, because the P stands for poor. Poor people usually work like that. They're going to save whatever is left. And that's why they're left with nothing. Versus what wealthy people do, they go with the WISE model, which is they take their income, they subtract their savings before expenses, and then whatever is left, they spend expenses. And that's why it's called W, because they are the wise people. So you see the PIES people who are overweight, people who can't hold back from eating that pie of pizza when it's so delicious and it's so attractive to them. They can't have the discipline, and usually they end up with the same problems when it comes to their savings, when it comes to their passive income planning. Versus the wise people, they just do it the opposite way. And in the coming days, we'll talk about more technically how this could be done. But the main thing I want to drive through today is, in today's challenge, in today's day number 1 of the 14-day passive income challenge, is put in your savings as part of your expenses, before your expenses, and only then, when that is covered, then you can spend whatever is left. Thank you so much for joining me in the 14-day passive income challenge. I'm looking forward to hearing your success story, and I'm happy that you include me in your passive income journey.